Hello. Today we will look at effective strategies for developing research proposals. A research proposal is one form of the many types of proposals you will find in your academic career. You'll write them to convince someone that the research you wish to conduct will be worth the time and funding. You'll also see proposals in a variety of other forms. Grant proposals are used to acquire funding for projects from the government or from nonprofits. Teaching proposals convince a school that you should teach a certain course. Even in the creative world, elevator pitches convince editors or producers to fund a book, song, movie, or television idea. The proposal for this class is to help you develop an understanding of the basic elements involved in any project proposal. You will need to present and justify the need to study a research problem, present the method with which you will conduct the study, and demonstrate your ability to conduct the research. The research proposal for this class will need to include these elements: the background and significance of the topic and issue, a small literature review, the research design and methods, the preliminary suppositions and implications, and a conclusion. The background and significance section of your research proposal helps you to demonstrate your knowledge of the existing information on the subject. This is where you discuss what others have said. You should also consider what has not been said. Your research should be contributing to a larger conversation, so you should be aware of what is missing from that conversation. Here, you can point out what your research will contribute to this larger conversation. You should begin to express why the research is worth conducting. The literature review builds on the background and significance by showing that you have done some research on the topic or issue. Here, you should summarize a book or article that you have found in a short paragraph. Each source should be summarized individually. This will help the person reviewing your proposal see that you are knowledgeable on the topic or issue. The research design and methods shows the reviewer exactly how you will conduct this research. Here you will discuss who or what you will study, how you will select sources and determine their reliability, what methods you will employ in conducting research, like surveys or interviews, how you will conduct the data, how much time you will need, and how you will gain access to research facilities or platforms. You should also discuss any potential obstacles you may encounter. How will you how will you overcome these obstacles? This section should show the reviewer exactly how you plan on conducting research. The preliminary suppositions and implications tells the reviewer what you uh, how you plan to find out in your research. The supposition is simply a belief or hypothesis. This is your working thesis statement, what you believe your argument will be. Remember that this working thesis statement is subject to change. This is, I believe such and such will be demonstrated by my research. By the time you complete your research paper, this should have changed. An implication is a conclusion that can be drawn from something even though it is not explicitly stated. An implication is a statement that simply shows what your research can do to impact the larger conversation. For example, your research might show a new way of creating plastic that does not draw from petroleum and is biodegradable. The implication is that animals in the ocean will be less threatened by garbage deposited in the ocean. This section shows what your initial argument is and what it could mean for the larger conversation. As with any good paper, include a conclusion that restates your working thesis statement and explains why this research matters. And as you write your research proposal, here are a few common mistakes to avoid. Failing to be concise. You should always be clear and concise in your work. Failing to cite landmark works in your literature review. This demonstrates an incomplete preparation. And often the reviewer may have something published on your topic or issue that might help them to agree to you conducting this research. Failing to define the contextual boundaries of your proposed research. If you do not define the boundaries, you show that you may not be aware of the scope of your research. Failing to develop a coherent and persuasive argument for the proposed research. You should stay focused and not go off topic. Sloppy or imprecise writing and poor grammar can also convince a reviewer that you are not capable of conducting this research. The most important thing is to remember, whenever you write a research proposal or any kind of proposal, you should be conscious of what others have said and not said, what you want to contribute to the conversation, and how you want to contribute to the conversation.